The real reason your YouTube channel isn't growing or making any meaningful money usually has nothing to do with what you think the problem is. And I can say that confidently because I've spent years inside of the accounts, the analytics, the strategy, and the operations of some of the biggest creators and coaches in the online space. We've worked with multiple niches as well, such as Amazon FBA coaches, fitness coaches, tax and finance coaches, business mentors, and a bunch more. And although the content, personalities, and business models are different, the underlying problems are almost always the same. Most coaches think they have a posting problem, or they think they have a frequency problem, or they think YouTube is just some slow, mysterious platform that takes months to pick up momentum. But the real problem is almost always deeper than that. And once you understand this, it becomes very hard to not grow on YouTube, especially if you're an online coach with a high ticket offer and a clear pathway for your viewers to become clients. But let me start by making something clear. YouTube is the single best client acquisition channel on the internet right now. Not just for views, not just for reach, but for buyers. Because YouTube is the only platform where people are searching for a solution, sitting down with full attention, choosing you on purpose, and spending 10 to 20 minutes listening to your perspective. That level of intent creates sales calls, clients, and long-term relationships in a way that a short-form platform cannot even get close to. And here's the ironic part. The people who should be winning the biggest on YouTube, which is the online coaches, are usually the ones posting the wrong content, structuring their channels incorrectly, focusing on the wrong metrics, and using a completely outdated playbook that doesn't work in 2025. What we see with almost every new client we take on is the same pattern. They're doing the work of YouTube, but not the right work. They're posting videos, but none of those videos are actually aligned with what the algorithm is pushing, what buyers want to see, or what makes a channel grow sustainably. So let's get straight into it. The real reason your channel isn't growing or making money is because your content isn't aligned with what YouTube is built to reward. YouTube is not a post more and hope platform. It's an ecosystem, an engine, a machine. And the machine rewards people who give viewers a consistent emotional payoff, who structure their value in a way that makes the viewer stay, and who understands that a video is less about information and more about holding attention. Most coaches make the mistake of thinking YouTube is about teaching, but clients don't come to you because you teach well. They come to you because they trust you, because they believe you understand their problems, because you show them the path, and because your energy signals confidence in the transformation that you're promising. Teaching is just one small layer of that. What actually builds trust is pacing, storytelling, clarity, certainty, and depth, not dumping information. The biggest mistake coaches make with YouTube is that their videos have the right topics but the wrong angle. They'll choose a topic their audience should care about, but it's not the angle that actually triggers curiosity, desire, or the emotional tension needed to click. And if the angle is even 10% off, the video dies before it has a chance. You could have the perfect message, the perfect insight, even a life-changing framework, but if the angle isn't phrased in a way that matches where the viewer is mentally, they will scroll straight past it. And that's why your YouTube isn't growing. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's not because you're not consistent. It's not because your niche is too saturated. It's because you're speaking from your level of awareness instead of the level your ideal viewer is currently at. Let me explain this in a way that finally makes sense. When you've been in your industry for years, you start thinking in advanced problems. You start speaking in frameworks, systems, efficiency, optimization. But your viewers, even if they're high level, don't search for optimization. They search for pain. They search for confusion. They search for I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. And this gap between your expertise and their awareness is the main reason channels flatline between 200 to 2,000 views and never break into consistent growth. It's the exact same pattern we've seen across every niche we've worked with, from Amazon FBA coaches who try to make more content about cutting supplier lead times when the audience is still stuck on how do I actually find a winning product, to fitness coaches who talk about training periodization when the viewer still can't lose £5, to finance coaches creating videos about tax optimization structures when the viewer is still trying to not screw up their first tax return. Once you understand this, YouTube becomes very predictable because YouTube rewards something very simple, which is meeting the viewer exactly where they are. Not above, not below, exactly where they are. And when we fix this for clients, when we realign their content around the emotional starting point of their ideal buyer, their videos suddenly start picking up momentum. Watch time increases, suggested traffic kicks in, search traffic stabilizes, and most importantly, the right people start booking calls because the content finally speaks in a language that they understand. But let's go deeper, because the angle is only one layer. Another major reason why your YouTube isn't growing is because your videos don't keep people long enough. And I know everyone says watch time matters, but most people don't understand what that actually means. Watch time isn't about talking faster. It's not about cutting every half second. It's not about throwing B-roll at the screen like you're editing a Mr. Beast video. Watch time is created through emotional momentum. It's created through clarity. It's created through direction, and most channels lack all three. Let me give you a real example. We worked with a fitness coach who had a big personality, great information, and an already successful business, but his videos weren't performing. When we watched his content, the issue was obvious. Every video felt like 5 videos crammed into one. The pacing was chaotic, the message shifted every 60 seconds, and the viewer had no idea what the video was about until 6 minutes in. When we restructured his content and had one message, one tension, one transformation per video, everything changed. The same voice, the same information, the same energy, but the structure was different. And because of that, the viewer actually stayed long enough for the algorithm to push the video. And when the algorithm pushes your video, everything changes. Your calendar fills, your DMs fill, your pipeline stabilizes. Because the truth is, YouTube's growth problem is really an attention problem. When you fix attention, you fix everything else. Another huge issue is inconsistency and positioning. This one is subtle but deadly. You might think you're positioning yourself clearly, but if your first 5 videos feel like 5 different creators trying to coexist on the same channel, the viewer never forms a real relationship with you. YouTube is about trust. Trust is about consistency. Consistency isn't about posting frequently, it's about identity. Viewers need to know exactly who you are, what you stand for, what problem you solve, and who you solve it for. And the crazy part is that you don't even have to say these things out loud for the viewer to know them. Your voice, your angles, your examples, your metaphors, your frameworks, all of that communicates who you are. When those things are aligned, you become a magnet. When they're not, you become forgettable. Most coaches are forgettable, not because they're boring, but because their content is misaligned. YouTube punishes misalignment and rewards clarity. And clarity comes from building videos that are designed for your ideal buyer, not for the algorithm, not for the masses, and not for your own ego. Let me shift to monetization though, because this is where 90% of coaches lose the bag. Your YouTube doesn't make money because the content you're posting does not create the emotional journey required for someone to go from viewer to client. You're giving out scattered tips, random thoughts, surface level advice, and none of it builds trust in a structured way. High ticket YouTube monetization is built through pattern recognition, empathy, specificity, and narrative. People buy when they feel understood, not when they feel taught. When we dial this in for clients, their sales calls literally transform overnight. Prospects show up already convinced. They show up saying things like, I feel like you've described my exact situation, or I've been binging your content for the last 3 days, or I've watched all of your videos and I'm ready to buy. That's the power of doing YouTube correctly. And look, I'm not saying this from theory, I'm saying it because we've watched it happen again and again in completely different markets. Amazon FBA coaches, fitness coaches, business mentors, tax and finance coaches, creators with huge audiences, coaches starting from zero. Every single one of them wins once the content is aligned with what YouTube wants and what buyers need. And if you're watching this and you're realizing, damn, this is literally me, then here's what I'll say. You're not failing because you're doing the wrong thing. You're failing because YouTube has changed and you haven't changed with it. The good news, fixing this is not complicated when you have the right strategy and the right team behind you. That's literally why we built what we built, to take coaches who are posting and praying and turn them into coaches who have a proper YouTube conversion system built around their offer, their niche, and their voice. We handle everything from ideation, scripts, editing, thumbnails, titles, descriptions, short form repurposing, and all the strategy behind it so that you can focus on recording and serving your clients. And if you want to see exactly how that works and how we've helped some of the biggest names in the online space, the first link is in the description where you can book a call with my business partner. No pressure. If it's aligned, then great. If not, you'll still walk away with clarity on exactly what's holding you back on your channel. Now, before I wrap this up, I want to leave you with this. YouTube isn't hard, YouTube isn't saturated, and YouTube isn't slow. YouTube just rewards the people who respect how it actually works. The creators winning right now are not the most charismatic, not the loudest, not the most experienced, not the most polished. They're simply the ones whose content is aligned with the platform, with their audience, and with their emotional psychology behind attention. Once you nail those 3 things, YouTube becomes the most predictable, profitable, and consistent client acquisition machine you will ever build. And if you want help building it and having it fully done for you, the link is in the description.